Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show. I'm Mark. Today we're making cheeseburger soup. This recipe originally comes from the Recipe Critic, but I'm making a few changes. I'm going to start by peeling my potatoes. You don't have to, but I am. And yes, we are starting with the prep work. The burger will come later. We're just going to go ahead and dice these potatoes. Keep in mind that it's soup. You can make whatever you want. You can add whatever you want. You can follow the recipe as close as you want. The recipe says 4 cups of potatoes. I'm thinking this will be enough potato. If it's not, I'll add some more. If I decide I want more potato, I'll add more potato. You know, it's all about what you want. Soup is easy, which is why we love it here at the Totally Honest Cooking Show. Those of you that are good at eyeballing potatoes will note that I have around 4.5 cups of potatoes. Next up, we got 1 medium onion. I prefer to use onions in increments of whole onion because anything else feels insane to me. If you cook a lot, increments of half an onion are also acceptable. But we're just cutting our onion. We're dicing it, right? And that looks like about a cup of onion, but, you know, use what you want to use. We're also going to shred a carrot. I just discovered carrot shredding last week, and I can't get enough of it. Okay, we're coming over to our stovetop. We've put down a little bit of oil just to get it started so that nothing sticks. And we've dropped a pound and a half of ground beef, this is 1.2, into our soup pot. And of course, pay attention to it, let it cook. But don't let it burn and stick and all those various things. Now you can get celery stalks, you can get celery hearts. I find that the hearts last a little longer. So I prefer the hearts for stuff like this if I'm not making them often. Usually I buy the stalks because they're cheaper, but then I end up wasting them. Next up, you need your cheese. Now you got a bunch of options here. You could probably even use American or Velveeta. I'm going to go with cheddar because that seems more human. And it's cheeseburger soup, so I figure we're going to want a lot of it. Drain off the fat. Put the meat aside. I'm going to put a tablespoon of the fat back. Throw in a tablespoon of butter. Get our spices ready. 1 teaspoon of parsley. 1 teaspoon basil. Half a teaspoon paprika. Half a teaspoon mustard. Back on medium heat till the butter melts. For those playing the home game, I am just taking the original spices, looking at the measurements, and adding a little bit of what I think will work in it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and throw all our veg in. And we're going to throw our spices in on top of that. Give them a little mix. Shouldn't be pretty at all. Just FYI. I'm also going to go ahead and add a pinch of salt. And a couple twists of black pepper. The onion's nice and tender and shimmering. The celery's not quite done. I'm just going to pour the beef back in. Anyway, add in my potatoes. Mix everybody around. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pour in 4 cups of beef stock. Twiddle it around a little bit. Once you bring it to a boil, you're going to go ahead and put a lid on it. Then you're going to lower it down to a simmer for about 10 minutes. While we're waiting on that, we're going to melt 4 tablespoons of butter over medium-low. We're making a roux, which is basically, in this case, a soup thickener. It's fat mixed with flour. This is gluten-free flour, so it might not thicken the soup enough, or it might thicken it too much. Who knows? I'm using measure for measure. We're just going to whisk it together. And the idea behind this is that you can't just throw raw flour into a soup. It will not thicken it, and it'll be icky. You want to cook the flour a little bit, so we make a roux. Different situations call for cooking the roux to a different level. You're just giving this some heat for about 5 minutes. If you can have gluten, use real flour. If this doesn't work for me, you know, cornstarch, man. But I wanted to see what would happen. The notes say that once it's bubbly, you're good. Notice the bubbles. So that should be fine. If you wanted to keep going for a little while till there's more bubbles, that's fine too. You know, go nuts. Okay, it's been about 8 minutes, but my potatoes are wonderfully tender, so I'm going to go ahead and put my roux in. Put my roux in, put my roux in. Yeah. Stir it around. Bring it to a boil. Give it a couple minutes to boil and thicken like that. Remember how I said that it might thicken too much? It might be thickening too much. Not sure. Reducing to low, adding a cup and a half of milk. Giving that a little go. Then I'm going to put in 2 cups of cheese or whatever is in here. Swish it around, help it melt. Now maybe I shouldn't do this, but life is all about making mistakes, so I'm just going to throw in a slice of Kraft American. See if I can yellow it up a little bit more. And at this point you're going to add someplace between 1/3 cup and 1/4 cup of sour cream. You could add more. This is one of those things I looked at like 8 recipes and they were all pretty much the same. We've given it a couple minutes to congeal and now it's ready to serve. It's around 7 p.m. now. I started super late, but I'm hungry. Give myself some ladlefuls. Now you can serve this up however you want. I'm adding some cut up bread. Give it a kind of bun thing, you know. And because at least one of you will ask, some cut up pickles. It did get a little weird at the end there, I'll grant you. I'll let you know how it is in the description below. Like, subscribe, ding the little bell. I'll see you next time. Bye.